have how much time do I have?
About 2 minutes.
2 minutes? Okay. Let's see if I could rush through what my novel is about. What's our novel? Okay. My book is called Your Wish is My Command, and this is the plot synopsis and its history in a nutshell. Half the protein and half the calories. Okay, the inspiration began in 2004 following the death of my grandmother. Yeah. It's difficult to talk about her, but I'm going to skip this slide. The revisit one is during my first year of college in 2006, I stumbled upon the old version, which was basically my escape to reality. It was filled with fantasy, mythology, legends to cope with the grief. And, okay, I'm going on. So I stumbled upon the old version while going through my old notes from high school. And I became inspired again and worked on fleshing out the characters. And although the plot went under heavy changes, it was influenced by anime. Okay, which brings me to 2008, when in my year abroad in Leuven, Belgium, it had tons of free time. Basically, you didn't have tests, you didn't have homework, you didn't have anything, and you only had class once a week. And the only time you actually had to apply yourself was at the end of the semester when all the exams were taking place. I did well.
I'm thinking about how much I paid for that.
It was worth it.
Okay.
Okay, so I decided to immerse myself with writing again, and I found the 2006 version on the mystery USB, and hated what I saw. I was actually embarrassed by it. And the story went back to its fantasy roots, but also became influenced by some great American writers like Twain, Norris Fitzgerald, Catherine Rowe, Hawthorne, and Whitman. I forgot Crane there, so I'm sorry if you are a Crane fan. I do recognize him. And I wrote most of the revision in a place known as Coffee Onan, which had the best atmosphere. And the story grew over to 400 pages and over 250,000 words before I was awarded the grant. And this summer, the research grant, I talked about how I visited Deerfield, Massachusetts, I interviewed various locals, and I contacted the various authors. And the ones who did respond were genuinely happy to assist. And I always thought that they were always too busy or too scared to contact, because I honestly thought that they wouldn't take a simpleton like me quite very seriously. So, and now we go on to what happened 2 weeks ago. I was hit by the diva ray. I thought that nothing could stop me from being the best author ever. So I wanted the story to be picked up by the first agent I contacted. And I began to focus more on what was popular in most literature and simply follow the trend. And I dropped the transcendentalism, which was a huge theme in my book. And it started to include popular things and cultural references. It was like MTV, oh my God. About 2 weeks ago, I realized that I was acting selfishly and immediately deleted the entire thing. It was... So currently I'm rewriting it with the original aspect, young adult fantasy with American literary undertones clashing with some popular British Isles motives. And a glance at the main character, this drawing was, this was made by I can't pronounce French names, I'm very sorry. So Thea Wilson is the main character of Your Wish is My Command, and she is to be the type that high school students tended to avoid, and she's like the weird girl in the corner, if you need that illusion. And she masks her unhappiness and loneliness by claiming to prefer her high school status. And I do have a quote from her. It would have been really helpful if there were some loser's guide to high school out in print. No, I don't mean those, oh, woe is me, high school was absolute utter hell, oh boo-hoo, sympathy novels. I mean, I drop a pretty penny for any book that would guarantee my survival in the educational jungle. I drop two if it didn't urge me to infiltrate the popular crowd in order to find myself and reach some sort of teenage nirvana. And then I lovingly shatter her reality. Either I was dreaming or I finally plunged into the public pool of insanity. And that's it. And thank you for the great opportunity. So, any questions? No? No? Damn good.
What is the next step for you?
The next step is to fully finish the manuscript, because now I'm way behind because I wrote the latest version to basically be like the biggest con artist. And when I went back and reread, I honestly had to stop. So I'm back at square one and using what I really did like in the second to last version. So, any other questions?
In doing your research when you went to Deerfield, did you actually meet with the principal in this high school?
Yeah, I did.
And did you let her know your motives, or were you trying to?
Oh no, I was very open with her, and she was actually very surprised that I chose Deerfield, because she's like, you're in Massachusetts, why didn't you pick Boston? And so I explained to her that I was drawn in by the history and basically by the small town kind of community, and she was very happy, and she basically explained everything to its like in full, so I would not be lost. She was really helpful, and she's an incredibly nice lady. Any other questions?
Who was the mom there, Sugarloaf?
Yes, and you climbed it.
Yes. When you climbed down by yourself, what road did you come out of?
Mountain Hill Road.
And that was the road in your book. You didn't know it existed.
That's where the character lives. And I climbed down Mount Sugarloaf by myself, and I walked out onto the street and I went, basically it was like being there with your feet on the street where what you're writing about was probably the coolest experience ever. So
Coming out of the woods.
yeah, out of the woods, into the woods.
Thank you very much. Our next presenter is Kristen Abt. Kristen is a senior. You can stand.